Okay, so we're going to look at this control and coordinations in mammal first. Okay, so as I say, that's to control and to coordinate between at least two organs. We need to have the communication system. So what are the communication system we always use here? So then we look at the learning outcome. We need to compare the nervous and endocrine system, and we need to compare both of them. So what's being compared? So when question asks for compare, in particularly an essay question, when question asks for compare, always remember you need to have the similarities and differences. Always remember, unless there's no similarity at all, okay? If no, you need to put in the similarity as well as the differences when talk about nervous system and endocrine system, okay? So let us start when talking about nervous system and endocrine system, but basically this part we have done, okay? So we want to coordinate those information and pass between two different cells or even two different organs. So in order to coordinate and to regulate, and sometimes we need to change the activity of some part of the organism. Therefore, we need to have the communication system here. So we do have the nerve, which transmits the electrical impulses. So from this chapter onwards, we call it as the action potential. Okay, action potential. And chemical messenger, which is hormones, okay, that travel in the blood. Okay, so you can see that the differences here, okay, so highlight this this activity 19.1, okay, look at this activity 19.1, when talk about this nervous system and endocrine system, what are the differences? And in fact, activity 19.1, I already discussed it in chapter 18 already previously. So just a quick revisions here. So in terms of type of signal or messenger, in this case, when nervous system, it will be action potential, which is a form of electrical messenger. And endocrine system will use hormone, which is a type of chemical messenger. So what are the organs that involve here? Basically for nervous system, we do have the brain and the spinal cord, which constitute the nervous system. And don't forget, the brain and the spinal cord is formed the central nervous system. And from the central nervous system, we're going to branch out, which is the peripheral nervous system. So, okay, we do have the central nervous system, which involves the brain and the spinal cords, and we do have the peripheral nervous system. You want to read more, you can go and find out the peripheral nervous system compared to the central nervous system. And in terms of the organ that involved in the endocrine system, then we do have the glands that involve in the endocrine system. So these glands we call as endocrine glands. Okay, still remember in the previous topic, we talked about the endocrine and exocrine. So in the endocrine system, basically they release the hormone into the blood capillary. From the blood capillary, this hormone will travel to the target organs, bind to the receptor. So in terms of the cell types that produce that particular signal, we need the neurons in the nervous system, but endocrine system mostly it will be epithelial cells, but it's not a normal epithelial, it's a special kinds of epithelial. Okay, it's a specialized epithelial cells that can produce the hormones for us. Okay. How about the transmissions of the messenger? How we can send the messenger and how these target organ receive the messenger? Okay, these are electrical messengers, then definitely through the nerve, okay, or neurons. Okay, the cells we call as the neurons or nerve cells, and hormones are transmitted through the blood vessels. So mechanism of actions, basically, action potential make use of neurotransmitter at the synaptic cleft and the sodium-potassium channel and enter the target cells. That's how the transmission from one cell to another cells. Okay, we're going to learn this one. Don't worry. I mean, at this moment, you may be confused how the things take place. We're going to learn this soon. Okay, then we know that the hormones, but hormones, so hormone enter the cell through the plasma membrane, if let's say it's a lipid soluble hormones, or binding to the cell receptor for water soluble hormones. Okay, so what kind of response? Definitely will be more localized response if let's say we look at the muscle contractions, right? So this the nerve. But for the response for endocrine glands is more wide. Okay, so for example, growth hormones, you can have more target organ. Adrenal glands, you can see that more target organ response is spread widely. The rate of response, okay, quick response to the stimuli. But for this one, endocrine gland will be response slowly. Even though we use, I will say that even though we use the word slowly, we have to be aware that even slow is not like take how many years or how many hour. Okay, so in this case, slower means that compared to the endocrine, compared to the nervous system may take about few milliseconds, but for the endocrine system, maybe few seconds. Are you clear? Okay, so there are the differences between the nervous system and endocrine system. Okay, so always remember for this. Okay, so stop recording.